4. Lelouch v Britannia and his constant overreacting. Now I may get some flack from Tards and fangirls for saying this, but Lelouch, for as villainous as he is a melodramatic machine. Everything he does, from his actions to words, are exaggerated for dramatic effect, but the intention and the result aren't always the same now, are they? Lelouch is a man with a flair for drama. He enjoys making things as grandiose as possible. Unfortunately, this tendency comes back to bite him in the ass whenever the anime places him in a very shocking or stressful situations. Don't believe me? Then take a look at this still frame of him. What do you think he's saying, kids? Is it A, oh my god, my plan is falling apart? B, how is this possible? C, Nanari! Or D, if you guessed D, then that might as well be it, because it's the only one that matches up to the face he's making. But that's not even the funniest part. Just watch a bit of his rant against Rolo when he finally has enough of him.
What are you doing with this? It's Nonali's! I wanted to give this locket to Nonali, not to you! To Nonali! I never want to see your face again! I said get out!
I will hear no more insinuations about the German people! Nothing bad happened! Sie werden sich hinsetzen! Sie werden ruhig sein! Sie werden nicht beleidigen Deutschland!
Whether he means to or not, Lelouch succeeds in making us laugh our asses off every time he gets his blood pressure up. I shall now proceed to pleasure myself with this fish. I love the fans. Number 3. Umi neko no naku koroni. What part of it? The entire anime. I'm not even joking. This has got to be the single most hilarious psycho-magical murder mystery ever put on screen. Everything is so delightfully over the top. The characters, the situations, and the deaths. Oh my lord, the deaths. But to be fair, at the start I thought I would be in for a serious affair. And then less than 10 minutes in, I start to have my doubts. By the 4th murder, I was convinced that this was one of the funniest things I had ever seen. Now, before anyone says anything, I'm actually on the fence as to whether the creators were actually parodying this tragic horror of the previous work, Igurashi. But I think the characters take themselves a little too seriously for this to be intentionally funny. I mean, we actually tried to have romantic subplots! But for me, the clincher, what sealed the notion that this anime could never be taken seriously again, is the performance of Beatrice, the Golden Witch, which is so exaggerated, so hilariously over the top, that I'm quite sure she was supposed to be the comic relief and not the main villain. Umi neko no naku koroni. An unintentionally funny scene? Try an unintentionally funny anime!
だよな
お嬢様、笑いに品がございませんよ。
おお、これはすまぬ。
Number 2. The final moments of Light Yagami from Death Note. Oh come on, how could I not include this one? It's crossed the world thousands of times and people are still laughing their asses off at it. And with good reason. I mean, Light Yagami, the man who is always with the plan, is cornered by his enemies, and what does he do? He throws the longest, most embarrassing tantrum in the history of villainy and attempts to disguise it as the final thrashings of a maniacal genius. You know what? I won't even explain why it's funny. I think the event speaks for itself. There's nothing more to add. That was the most flagrant display of raging jackassery I have ever seen, and I think everyone realizes this was supposed to be the most dramatic climax of the entire series. But, to be fair, a lot of the humor has to do with the voice actor, who absolutely maxes out the camp meter. Regardless, Light Yagami's bitch fit at the end of his road, and he wonders why I didn't put him on the top of my 9 greatest villains list. And the number 1 most unintentionally hilarious moment in anime is the death of Portgas Ace from One Piece. Now, first things first, this served as the climax to the worst arc in the history of the series. Indeed, the Whitebeard War was a jumble of extended fight scenes, pointless exposition, and a dramatic plot twist that went absolutely nowhere. His arc was so long, so nerve-gratingly forced, that by the time we got to this point, everyone was practically begging for Ace to be put out of our misery. But worse yet, the man had long since devolved from being a badass to a grimacing plot device, so even from the get-go I couldn't care less about his fate. I hated this arc, and I hated whatever evil forces pushed each in order to extend it. Fuck you! I hate you! Fuck it! Ah! I'm sorry you had to see that. But suffice to say, I was not in the best of mood for drama at this point. But surprisingly, Oda actually lent Ace's final moments a lot of emotion, which is why we're going to do this a little differently than the rest. I shall now read to you the last few pages of said chapter before revealing the scene in question. I have no regrets about how I lived my life. No, you're lying! It's not true! It looks like what I really wanted in the end wasn't fame or renown at all. My voice is getting too quiet. Luffy, I want you to listen to what I say now, and tell it to those guys afterwards. Old man, all you guys, and Luffy, even though I've been a good-for-nothing my whole life, even though I carry the blood of a demon within me. No, don't you dare give up! Thank you for loving me! Gramps, do you think I should really ever know? What? Did you think I was dead? Oh, my sides! I think I need a drink of water. Oh my god! That almost makes up for everything that's happened since the end of Impel Down! Yes, as you can very well see, the look on Luffy's face totally cancels out any tragic overtones this scene might have. I mean, look at it! Did he just give himself a full frontal lobotomy? Was the shock that people can die in a shonen series just too much for him? Or, most likely, did he just have enough of this arc's crappiness and lapse into a coma to escape it? And believe me, this isn't even a one-time thing. For the next 5 chapters onward, Luffy's face does not change one single bit. I mean, talk about killing the mood. This face single-handedly ruined any shreds of dignity that was still hanging on to Ace and the arc in general. In fact, you know what? I figured it out. This is Eiichiro Oda's final middle finger to the editors for making him drag on this shitfest of an arc and butcher some of the best characters in One Piece. He decided to conserve his honor and spit on the editorial face by ruining the drama. So to Luffy and his man coma, I can only say, you are the #1 most unintentionally hilarious moment in anime history! Well, there you have it. From One Piece to Code Geass to the fans themselves, I have just given you a list of the top 9 muck-ups of scenes that, for all intents and purposes, should have us anything but laughing. It's sure that I've missed a lot of other gems, but at least you've got yourself a shiny set right here so you can revel in your casual sadism. Here's to unintentionally hilarious moments everywhere, and until next time, I am your cheerful torturer, the Anti-Viewer!
始まりです。これからキラキラ動画を見せてやるよ。いよいよですね。ドキドキしてきたっすね。誰を塗ってるバカ野郎、そんな世の中にいいのか。なんでふざけてた。誰を塗ってるバカ野郎。貴様どうして